Hi Warm Springs, this is Dane, physical therapist with Warm Springs Holistic Health, and today we're going to talk about hip stability. Now the last couple videos Taylor's talked about hip mobility, so we've already talked about establishing that hip range of motion. Now it's important to activate some of those muscles around the hip and through that range of motion that you've created. So the very first one that I'd like to talk about is a clamshell, one of our more basic beginning exercises here. So you're going to stack the hips on top of each other. So if a rod was to go right through your hips, it'd be pointing straight towards the ceiling. You're going to keep your feet together with this one, and you're just going to raise that top hip or that top knee so that your knees come apart, your feet stay together, your hips are staying stacked on top of one another. These are working your hip external rotator group, so you should feel a pretty good burn right in here, right back, just behind your hip bone there, your greater trochanter. All right, and then next, you can straighten those legs on out. Even just bring, maybe even bring that bottom leg out in front just a little bit so that you can work through a little bit more range of motion. Same idea here. You want to keep those hips nice and stacked. You don't want the hips rolling around. We're talking stability here, so it's a good opportunity to practice that. So hips nice and stable. You're going to take that top leg and lift it up and even slightly back. That'll get your glute max muscle going a little bit more too. So lowering the leg down, let it touch the ground if you've got that range of motion, and then lift on up. Even scooting up against a wall can be helpful because then the wall will keep you honest. It's not a bad thing if your foot's going forward like this, but we really want to work these back glute muscles. So then next, if that's not enough, if you want a little bit more resistance, you can grab some of this TheraBand. You can get this stuff online or in the physical therapy department. We have plenty of it. And many of you who have been to physical therapy are familiar with this stuff. So with this one, you're going to want to keep your hips nice and level. Once again, belt line even with the ground. Try to reduce the rocking side to side. And you're going to step and step. So you're putting tension through the band, working those side hip muscles. Again, that's where you want to feel it. No rocking. Should be isolated to those hips. All right, so hopefully that's helpful for you guys, and we'll talk soon.